do you simulate Lamar Jackson?
Playing Madden. You know, to be honest, he's probably the closest thing that I've seen since Michael Vick. This guy is extremely dynamic, can make plays when you don't think there's a play there to be made. He just Houdini, I guess, but phenomenal, not just with his legs, but his ability to be able to get the ball down the field as well.
Steve Wilks, the Browns defense coordinator, are getting ready to face Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense this weekend. A lot of pressure on them. We are drafting who's under the most pressure for Week 4 of the 2019 NFL season. And Big Cat, you know how we do the first pick now. Trivia question, are you ready?
Yes.
Last night was the first home game that Aaron Rodgers lost with a double-digit lead. He had been 50-0-1. Tom Brady actually won 80 straight home games in that same situation. Double-digit lead from 2001 through 2015. Which team ended his streak?
Seahawks?
The Eagles. Oh, no, the Eagles. Same team that ended the streak.
Mark Sanchez.
That's the trick. The Eagles went up there and took care of the Patriots, and they were down 14-0 and came back to win the game in New England. All right, so I get the first pick. Who's under the most pressure this week? I'm going to start with a game we talked about earlier, a do-or-die game for the two teams involved, the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons, both 1-2. I think the Titans are going to win this game, and I think Dan Quinn had better do everything he can to will the Falcons to win the game, because if they fall to 1-3, if the bottom starts to drop out, he's a guy who moves toward the top of the list as a candidate for being out the door during the season. We see maybe one a year, and there's talk and there's a thought that maybe it's going to be Jay Gruden in Washington. But I think if the Falcons fall to 1-3 and lose to the Titans on Sunday, Dan Quinn is a guy that we really have to start paying attention to as potentially being done during the year. Big pressure on him to pull off the victory at home.
Okay, we never talk about another man's job, but I agree with that pick, and I'll actually stay in that game for my first pick. I think it's Marcus Mariota. I think Marcus Mariota has had moments, very fleeting moments, where he's looked like a good NFL quarterback, but those moments feel like they are few and far between now, and you have Ryan Tannehill backing him up, an option that Mike Vrabel can go to, almost went to on Thursday Night Football against the Jaguars. If Marcus Mariota gets benched without an injury, because he's been out for a lot his career with injuries, if he's a healthy bench and Ryan Tannehill takes over, is that kind of his career? I don't know, because you don't get a lot of second chances after that. He would obviously still be on a team and someone would sign him after this year, but in terms of being a no-doubter, starting quarterback, that could be it. And I think Marcus Mariota is right on that line right now, where if he doesn't perform and he doesn't prove that he can command that offense, that it will be Ryan Tannehill, and Mike Vrabel won't be afraid to do that.
He and Jameis Winston are in the same boat, I think, where if they don't stake their claims to remaining starting quarterbacks in their current cities, they become guy who signs with the team in March, and then that team drafts a guy in the first round in April. So you're maybe holding on to be the starter, and then you start bouncing around and you're the backup. And look, it pays well. But I think that for both Mariota and Winston, this really is the last year, and it may be the last chance for Mariota. And last week, that Thursday night game, he came out with an urgency in the third quarter that made me think somebody said to him at halftime, "This is it. You better wake it up now, or we are going to Tannehill." And I think that they will inch closer to that if he continues to play with that kind of nonchalance, lackadaisical, no urgency. We saw it in the fourth quarter last week where they were down 2 scores, and I thought he believed it was the third quarter at one point. So that's a good pick, and that was on my list as well. I'm going to go with Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens put himself under pressure. He's not on the hot seat. He's nowhere close to being on the hot seat. But when your explanation for not calling a run, when you've got first and goal from the 4 and you do 4 pass plays, when the explanation is, I'm new at this, that doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in the fan base in Cleveland. There's a lot of different ways you could play it. You could say, I made the judgment each play that a pass was best. Look, they have a defense out there. They could stop the run. If they think a run's coming and we pass the ball, then we got a better chance of scoring. You don't say, I'm new at this. I'll get better. That's not the game that you play when you're a head coach trying to inspire confidence in the building and out of the building that you're the right guy. So This is his opportunity. You like the Browns this week. If the Browns win this game, we forget about a lot of the things that happened last week. But Freddie Kitchens had better lose that mindset of, I'm new at this. You either have a job coaching an NFL team or you don't. And there's plenty of guys out there who wouldn't be new at it, who aren't going to use that excuse and are going to come in and get it done if you can't.
Yeah, I agree. I had Freddie Kitchens on my list as well. This is a big game for him, a big test, an early test. All off season, everyone said the Browns this, Browns that. This is what comes with expectations. When a team has expectations and doesn't, live up to the hype early on, questions get thrown around, and I think everyone is committed to Baker Mayfield, so it's the guy standing next to Baker Mayfield that gets a lot of these bullets here. Okay, I will go with my next pick. I'll go with a double pick. It's a double pick because it's the same game. Kirk Cousins and Mitch Trubisky, both of them together, a lot of pressure for them. This game has all the makings of being terrible football, tough to watch, two very good defenses, two quarterbacks trying to find their way. And if one of these guys can step up and steal this moment, I think that team, that franchise will feel a lot better going forward with their future. And on the flip side, if one of them falls on their face, there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of angst. And, you hear the rumblings already. So I think that there's a lot of pressure on both these guys facing very good defenses in the same game.
See, I look at it this way. If either of these guys is expected to make a big play to win the game, they're going to fail. It's just a question of which team is in position to be defending when the other quarterback is in position to make the big play to win the game.
But it still is a lot of pressure because while you're right that neither guy is expected to win the game, if either guy has a truly awful game, then it's like because this is one of those tests where both teams seem to be good, both defenses are good. If you can't win this game, if you fall on your face in this game, then you have to actually ask, can we keep going with this guy going forward?
Hey, and the big problem for Cousins, and this may be the problem for Trubisky as well that we will learn over the passage of time, he's very aware of the pressure. And he changes in those moments. The big games on the road, the primetime games, the big throw in the fourth quarter when you're about to erase a 21-0 deficit and you throw into double coverage in the end zone and blow the game. He seems to be highly aware of those moments, and he doesn't perform in those moments. So, in that same vein, I'm going to put Daniel Jones on the list as a guy who's under pressure, but not in a bad way. Look, he has shown he can handle the pressure, but it's clearly pressure. It's good pressure. You're coming in to make your home debut. There's an expectation you're going to win the game. You had that great performance last week. How do you follow it up? How do you justify what you did last week? If you lose to Washington 24-14 and you're lackadaisical and you're not inspiring, everybody's going to forget about what happened in Tampa Bay. But if you come in and you continue the Danny Dimes or Danny Deuce routine or whatever it is, then you continue to be embraced by the open arms of New York. So this is an opportunity for Daniel Jones to really cement that bond that started last week. There's pressure there, though, because they will quickly forget about him if he comes out and plays poorly. And as you pointed out earlier, he doesn't have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, no, you're wrong on this pick. This is a terrible pick because...
Hey, you react... No, you see, you liked it, and then while I was explaining it, you thought, I got to come up with a way to crap on it because this really is a good pick. I can tell by your facial expression.
No, I said, ooh, you can go and replay it. I said, ooh, what is Mike doing right now? He's so stupid. This is a dumb pick because Daniel Jones is a rookie. It's his second game. If he does poorly, you actually think the Giants fans are going to be like, this guy is not good anymore? They're going to say, as a fan myself, you always do the mental gymnastics to say, well, he's young, he's football young, he's got a lot to learn. Of course he had to step back. We're on to next week. That is a bad pick.
The pressure comes from the opportunity. This is the equivalent of the little brother who has the big brother on the ropes in ping pong. He's not expected to win, but this is the opportunity to do it. You win this home debut, you get to 2-2, and all of a sudden they're going to feel even better about you than they did last week. If you just look ordinary, then they're going to be, last week was a fluke. Okay, the jury's still out on whether or not this guy's going to be good. This is an opportunity for him to take it next level. That's why there's pressure there. It's good pressure, and I think he can live up to it.
Okay, my last pick is the one that's going to win this draft. The most pressure this weekend, Buffalo Bills fans. Buffalo Bills fans, when the Patriots come to town, everyone expects for them to put on a show. Everyone expects them to be the loudest fans in the NFL. I think the Buffalo Bills fans have to help their team win this game. Everyone knows that it's not just the 22 guys on the field, it's the fans in the stands that can help their team win the game. Buffalo Bills fans have a ton of pressure on their team, on themselves this weekend.
And, you know, it's funny. I had on the list Bills security because of the annual Tom Brady identified flying object game. And Sims and I talked about this earlier in the week, and I want to be careful not to go too far back down that rabbit hole. But there is a certain item that multiple fans will be trying to smuggle into the facility and then throw onto the field. And they better, number one, if there's a way to do it, keep the items from coming in. Number two, they better intercept before they get thrown onto the field. And then number three, they better figure out who did it and get them out of the stadium. Because there have been arrests over this, but there is no way that someone's not going to try to do it. And I think multiple people are going to try to do it as the Bills Mafia tries to take down Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. I love Buffalo. It's going to be a fun scene. It's always a fun atmosphere outside there. But, you know, they have to show up, and they have to be very loud because they got to give their team any edge they can when they're trying to beat the Patriots.
And Tom Brady was pretty candid about it earlier in the week. He said he loves it when they go on the road and they get up early, and then by the third and fourth quarter, it's only Patriots fans left. That he relishes that more than he relishes winning at home. So he gets a chance to do it again on Sunday. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, our favorite underdogs and our favorite storylines of Week 4. We'll be back with more PFT Live right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.